Hello, and welcome to the Trail Manners Podcast. I'm your host, Eric Manning, coming to you from the beautiful trails in Ogden, Utah, but connecting you to wherever trail, ultra, and mountain running takes us. We'll bring trail running to life with amazing athletes, discuss the latest topics, epic journeys, and get you stoked for your next trail adventure. We're sharing the moments that make life special, because even a rough day on the trail beats a good day indoors, and nothing beats time spent with good friends and great stories. Catch us here weekly for your dose of dirt, vert, and good vibes. So now it's time to top off your water, grab some cheese curds, and join us for this week's podcast, where we take you deep into the heart of our sport. It's go time. Hello and welcome to episode number 143 of the Trail Manners Podcast. I am your host, Eric Manning, and today is our special Christmas gift episode. The Trail Manners Podcast is produced every week for your enjoyment, and show notes are found at trailmanners.com. Come back often, and please feel free to add the podcast to your favorite RSS feed or iTunes. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Trail Manners. If you're so inclined, Trail Manners would really appreciate any contributions via our Patreon account at patreon.com/Trail Manners. All links are in the show notes. Now let's get after it. All right, welcome to the annual Christmas gift episode. I think this is number 5 for this show, 5 years in a row. There is a guest host, friend of the show today, I'm happy to bring on. We did have one that could not make it due to some weather conditions where they live. I've got one in-house, and we'll get to them. We also had a female guest, so we could kind of hit everything. So we will try and do a supplemental show for the ladies. So I apologize, last-minute schedule thing. So we're going to move forward with this one, which is okay. We still have a lot of stuff to talk about, and then we're going to work on that one for all the wonderful ladies out there that want to listen to the show. Our guest today is in-house. He's no stranger to the Trail Manners Podcast. He's graciously accepted to come on. We have Mr. Preston Wood.
I'm happy to be back.
You happy to be here?
Yeah, a little nervous to put some opinions out there for people with this gear stuff, but I'm excited. Got a lot of hot takes ready to roll.
I'm ready for them because it's something new. Because what I've found is my list doesn't change a whole lot from year to year. Because I've gone through and looked, I'm like, yeah, I still like that. I still like that. No one's knocking my socks off with something through the roof. So, but at the end of the show, we're going to talk to the guests a little bit and leave a thing saying, hey, what do you have for us? What am I missing? What's Preston missing? What do we need in our lives? So, as I mentioned before, we did have a fantastic female runner that was going to call in to be a part of the show, but had some issues being on. So I apologize. I'm not going to say who that is. In case we can't get them, we'll still try to bring somebody on. But first off, let's do a little thing, and this isn't part of the show, but Preston, you were at the Western States Lottery for a little bit.
Yeah, I was. Unfortunately, I went out for the Pac-12 football championship game out to Central California in the Bay Area, and I convinced my family and wife that we were going to stay in Auburn on Thursday night and Friday night. So Thursday night, Thursday night we stayed in Auburn. Woke up early, ran from Green Gate to the finish line, which is about 20 miles on the course. Had a great time. It was kind of weird being out there with no people. There was I saw one person all day. It was kind of crazy. And then went to the football game. Utah got crushed, unfortunately for me. Fortunately for the Duck fans and everybody else that dislikes Utah, I guess. And then came back, slept, and then woke up, and I went to an hour of the lottery on Saturday morning yesterday.
Now, were you in the lottery?
Yeah, I was in the lottery.
So I think I need to say I'm sorry that we didn't do this show first, because if people listen to the podcast over the years, we have what we like to call the Trail Manners mojo. We've had guests on the show before lotteries, and I'm not kidding you, they get in. We've had Jeff Hart with Hard Rock. We've had you, I believe, as well. And there's countless other people. We've recorded 3 shows on our relaunch to start year 5. Myself, I didn't put in.
No.
Megan Martinez, who didn't put in. And a guy named Turtle Miller, who put in and got drawn
and
for Western
I
States.
was there when his name got drawn, and I said, yeah, Turtle, and people thought that maybe I was him, and kind of didn't know what to do.
They were looking like, okay, what's going on?
So it was pretty fun to be there, though. It's nuts. The whole hype around Western is definitely real, but that might be for some people, not for some people, but I love it.
Yeah.
Diana Fitzpatrick, who's the new president of the race organization, is awesome. I got to run with her for about 10 miles when I ran Western a couple years ago, and she's great. She was the first female over 60 to run under 24 hours.
Wow.
And now she's the president of it. So it's just a cool race. So it was fun to be at the lottery.
Yeah, and there wasn't a ton of names that I recognized. I mean, there's some of the, obvious, the big names, but there was, I think, 2 from Utah, if I remember someone said.
Yeah, I think, well, there was 3. So Cody Draper, kind of a local, fast runner here from Cache Valley, and Turtle, and then there was a guy from here in South Ogden that said, named Tyler Hall, and I don't know Tyler, but he'd been putting in for 5 years, so he's been doing it for a while.
I thought there was someone else in Salt Lake that got in, so maybe I was way off.
There was somebody from South Jordan as well. I don't remember the name, but yeah.
Well, then there were that many. But congratulations to Turtle, and you owe me some money because my mojo worked for you, buddy. So. And since we have a Christmas episode, I have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year special edition beer from Anchor Brewing that I'll be sipping on during the show, and it's a good beer. So, all right, well, we're going to get right into it. So we have not compared lists. We have not talked. I gave Preston some categories so he kind of knows what we're going to do. And we're going to start off with shoes. So my list is never long because I struggle with finding proper shoes. For those that know me, I've been milking my Pearl Izumi shoes for the past few years. When they decided to quit making running gear, I bought a bunch of the Pearl Izumi Trail N2 V3, size 11.5 for all yous out there. And I still, every once in a while, I'll look online to see if I can scrum some up. And, of course, I can't. So I've got 3 pair left in the box, and I think they're going to bust out in 2020, though, because there's a lot of things going on. But I'm always interested to hear other people's opinions. I've tried so many. There's a couple this year I'm going to try, and some are already out, some are not out. But I'm going to let you lead off this Christmas gift show with shoes. So how many shoes you got on your list?
All right, so this is a lot of pressure leading off. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm very opinionated on my shoe choices, and I really like a particular brand.
Okay.
I'm a big Hoka guy.
Okay.
Never thought I would be when I was a road runner. I kind of made fun of Hokas, and then as
it's easy to do when they first came out too, though.
That original Bondi was pretty thick.
It was Napoleon Dynamite moon boots. Is what they looked like.
They were huge and a little goofy. They still are huge. Pretty thick shoes, thick boys, if you will. But they're my go-to. And so I kind of broke it down into a few different things, the shoes that I've enjoyed the most this year. So first, this time of year, unfortunately, with the weather we've been having, it's been slushy. Mm-hmm. It's been bad on the dirt. I've been doing some road running, and so I've got this great road shoe that I've just loved. It's the Hoka Rincon, and it retails at $114 at your local running shop.
That's pretty good for a running shoe.
Yeah, it is, and it reminds me a lot of like the Hoka Hawaka, for all you Hoka fanatics out there, except it's a little bit softer even, and it's not a 0 drop like the Hawaka was. I think it's a 4 mil drop, heel to toe, and it's just real soft, real light, really light compared to the trail shoes I've been wearing. And it's been awesome. I've had it for about a month, probably put well over 100 miles on it, and I already ordered another pair. It's been great. So the Hoka Rincon is my first shoe, and that's my road shoe. It's been what I've been having to run in quite a bit lately.
Well, I should have prefaced this, and so we should start the show over because we're starting a Christmas gift episode with a road shoe. If Joel was sitting next to us, he might have slapped you already. Luckily, I'm not so aggressive because of it. And I understand people need to train on roads. I actually went on the pathway for the first time a couple weeks ago, which is very rare. Well, it's never happened, pretty much. So I get it. But we'll let this slide, and we'll go to your next shoe.
All right. Well, just know that's the only road piece of equipment that I have on my whole list, so I got it out of the way early.
Okay, we're good, Ned. We're good. We can actually keep recording, and we'll release
else,
this show.
Trust me, I ran a few miles this year, and not many of them have been on the road until recently.
We'll let that slide.
So my go-to trail shoe of the year, This one's going to break the bank a little bit, folks. It's the Hoka Evo Speed Goat.
Okay.
It is.
Now, is that the 3 version?
Well, so the bottom, the tread, the cushion is the 3. Okay. The upper is the Evo Mafate kind of upper. It's more flexible, just a better fit. It's actually the shoe that Walmsley and Hazen both wore at Western. They did it as a kind of a tester. It's really light. So it's the Speed Goat, same traction, same feel as the Speed Goat, as the Speed Goat 3, which is my other shoe as far as the trails go. And it is awesome for racing. So I wore this shoe this year at the Skyline Marathon, where I had a really good day, the Bear 100, where I had a really good day, and the Antelope 50K, and it was flawless. Didn't have to change shoes, didn't have to do anything. Like I said, super lightweight. It drains really well when it gets wet, so you don't just feel like you're sloshing in your socks the whole time.
What's the drop on that? Do you know?
So it's a 4 drop, just like the Speed Goat.
That's right in my zone.
But it's a little steep in the price point. It's $159.95 retail, and you can't find it anywhere unless you know somebody for cheaper than that. But it's pretty dang durable. Well over 300 miles in the pair that I have right now. The previous pair was about 350 before I just got a new pair.
So it's a little over 50 cents a mile.
Yeah, 50 cents.
Right in there. That's what we're looking at. 50
cents a mile.
There we go,
50 cents a mile if you look at it like that. But it's been awesome. It's for you Speed Goat fanatics. It's a Speed Goat, but lighter and just a lot more responsive. So that's been my go-to shoe to finish out the year. And I don't see myself racing in anything but that shoe for the foreseeable future.
Now, so is that a shoe that's moving forward? Because the reason I bring that up is one of the shoes on my list I haven't had a chance to try that I want to is the Speed Goat 4. Because I know the 3 for me, I've never been able to use the Speed Goat because it just seemed too narrow, messed with my arch. For whatever reason, the arch on the shoe and my arch didn't mesh. The 3 was probably closer. But then everybody said, the 4, you'll like the 4. And I know they've had some demo runs I haven't been able to make it out to. But I'm nervous to buy a shoe without testing them out.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious on the 4. And I like the 4 comes in a red, I think.
And I've been able to wear the Speed Goat 2s and 3s. Obviously, the first model was kind of terrible for everybody.
It was super narrow.
Except for Carl, probably. Yeah. But the 2s and 3s I've really liked. I haven't put on the 4s. They're claiming that it's wider than the 3s out of the box, but then I know they are going to release a wide version after the first of the year.
A 4.
So a specific Speed Goat 4 wide.
And I don't have a wide foot. It's just the arch on those things for whatever reason. I don't know if it lines up or it's a higher arch. I mean, I don't know the schematics of that shoe because I try it on and I'm like, yep, not going to work. I can tell right away. So that's one on my list to try.
I would like to try it as well. I can't vouch for it because I haven't put it on my foot. But if you see any Speed Goat 3s right now, they were a good shoe. That's what I did most of my training in all summer until the Evo Speed Goat came out. And then I did some more training in that and then raced in that.
Gotcha. And is that the 3 you have on there?
Well, I actually put the 4 on that I'd like to try it.
Okay.
So I'll let you talk.
Is that like 160? Well, I don't have stuff on. It's like 165.
145 retail for the Speed Goat 4. I picked up another pair of 3s a couple weeks ago for like $110 because they're on sale. But my size is hard to find. I wear a size 13, so sometimes my prices don't get discounted as much as some of the.
Because there's not as many.
There's not as many.
There's like 2 left. That's $300 for you, Preston.
Exactly.
Well, now, so you don't wear, and I bring this up because it seems like I see in stuff, you don't wear Salomon?
I mix it in. When I do some more scrambling kind of stuff, I'll wear like a Salomon Sense Ride, just because it's a little lighter, a little easier to get your foot in a tight spot than a Hoka.
Okay.
That's about the only time that I wear a Salomon.
How long did it take you to get used to running in a Hoka? Just because I've tried them on, and it just took me a minute because of the stack.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because I pretty much wore Hokas from the get on trails.
All right. So that was kind of what you knew.
But it was weird going from because I wore like Brooks a ton when I was road running mostly and thought they were the best shoe ever, and they're a good shoe, really good shoe. So I guess because when I went to trail, the first pair of shoes I bought was a pair of Hokas. I think it was like the ATR, the Challenger ATR, like the 1 or 2. And so I've known nothing with the stack height. I do have friends when they switch over, all they do is say that they feel like they're walking on stilts.
Yeah.
They feel like they're going to fall out of them.
That's what made me. I had a pair. I don't remember what year I bought a pair, and I regretted it because I used them for 5 miles and knew they weren't going to work, and I couldn't take them back. Yeah. So I was out like $140.
And you can't really test that on a treadmill.
No.
That's the hard part.
Well, it was almost like, too, like some of our trails, even like the Bonneville Shoreline, it's not super technical, but there's some rock spots where you've got to put your foot right. In a normal shoe, I can kind of place my foot properly, but I knew with the Hoka, it would never fit. It was like just a weird, I couldn't put it between the rocks, so I had to watch how I stepped a little bit more, which isn't a bad thing, but it almost made me have to feel like I'm changing how I run a little bit.
And I think where they put the Vibram soles on just about everything now that's trail for Hoka, you can just kind of sit on top of the rocks with pretty good grip, pretty effectively. But I like that Challenger pair that I had was pretty slick, and I had similar problems. I just didn't know there was anything different out there. Yeah.
So my shoes are pretty simple. I'm a simple dude, and I've already got my shoes, and I've got a lot in my closet, and I've been buying different shoes and trying them, and they're just not working for me. And before we keep going, we'll probably bring this up again, but these are purely, folks, opinion based. I mean, when you talk a shoe, it's so like what works for you, because there's some people that are zero drop. There's some people that Solomon's got the 10. I call them the high heels, like 10 plus drop that I can't even put on to walk down the stairs in. I'm more, before I do anything, mine are 4 to 6. That's my sweet spot, and I can tell. And people have said to me, it's millimeters. How can you tell? I'm like, you can tell, right? I think when you do it enough, you can tell a little bit more than,
definitely,
especially when you jump in. And I love Salomon. I've got some Salomon shoes that I wear. It's hard to run in for me just because I can tell a difference, and I just don't feel as comfortable on them. But my first one still, and it's always going to be until the day I die, in case I can find them at some point, somewhere, sometime, is the Pearl Izumi Trail N2 V3. So if you see any out there in 11.5, you get a finder's fee. I don't know what that is yet. You get to call it, all right? But you get a finder's fee for an 11.5 men's Pearl Izumi Trail N2, like Nancy, V3, like Victory. That's my one. The one I'm getting ready to take out on the trail, but I'm waiting because I don't want it to be a mushy. I want to try it on like a drier trail. I've been wearing the Brooks Caldera 3.
Okay.
And it's super comfortable.
I've heard good things about it.
It's a 4 mil drop. Brings in at 140. The 4 is about ready to release, and you can't find a lot of information on the 4. I found a guy that posted a photo from Europe. I guess it's launching there first. And not to say I don't even know the specs, the details, but everybody's like, it's better. Well, the 3 feels good. I walk in it. I've worked in it. I've gone on walked my dog with it. Kind of jogged in it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to get it out on the trail. It's a good-looking shoe. They have different colors, but that's the one I'm probably leaning more towards as maybe a gift to myself. I still can't find a release date on the 4. I've looked. I just can't find it. I know it's out there. So that's my 2 spots, and then I go back to the new Speed Goat just because – I don't know. I need to find something new, and I just can't find anything new. And I've got some New Balance. I've got some Ultras. I've got I've got a shelf of stuff that I wear once or twice. I'm like, dang it. Like I got the Hoka. Oh, my gosh. Joel turned me on to him, and I can't wear it running. I notice more and more it just doesn't fit very good. I wear it to work, and I can't remember which one it is. I couldn't even tell you the colors. I know it's blue and orange.
Is it a Clifton or
no? It's not like it's like a lighter one, I guess. That's supposed to be faster, which doesn't make sense for me.
Like the Kavu or something.
I don't know. It's a trail shoe. I can't think of it because I just don't wear it on the trail. And I thought I was going to be able to, and now the more I wear it, the more like it's too sloppy for me.
Yeah.
And I like my foot to be in there, and that's why I struggle a little bit with the Ultra. I like Ultra shoes. I wear them, but I struggle just because I don't like the wide toe box. I know people say it's natural, blah, 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 blah. I just feel a little sloppier, right?
Yeah.
Coming downhill, I don't feel like I can really, get a good grip. It makes me a little nervous. And I'm sure if you get running with them more, it clears, because I used to run in the Olympus for like a couple of years ago. I ran that primarily all year long. And, El Vaquero and a bunch of races, and I never had a problem with it, but I just feel more comfortable when my toes, not necessarily like a Nike for me, where my toes are like overlapping on each other, like I'm crossing my toes, but I think that's it. That's my thing with shoes. I'm looking though, so that's why I like people. I'm a 4 to 6 mil drop. So I just need some help. That's all it is. I need some help finding some shoes. But I'm gonna venture out with the Hoka Speed Goat 4. I'll give it a shot, a try, I should say.
Yeah, and I've heard great things about the Brooks Caldera. One of my main training buddies, Shane Martin, he'll mix in the Caldera, and he really thinks it's a great shoe as well.
Yeah, I've liked it, but I haven't run in it, so that's really hard to say. I think, but knowing my other shoes, like what I'll do is I'll wear my Pearl Izumis to try shoes on. And I'll wear one, and I'll throw another one on. I'm like, see how close they are. Yeah.
You know, something that I've done, too, is there's lots of people that do shoe reviews out there that know way more about shoes than I do. And I've kind of found the few people that have what I think is probably a similar preference as I do.
Yeah.
I just kind of look and say, okay, well, so-and-so, when they say that they like a shoe, I generally like that shoe.
Gotcha.
So that's something that I've kind of done is like, oh, hey, when they say that shoe's a good shoe, it's been a good shoe for me.
Well, and we've done shoe reviews. I have personally. The problem I have with gear and especially shoe reviews, I'm not a tech guy.
Yeah.
I don't care 90% of the time about 80% of what goes on with a shoe.
Yeah.
I want to know if it's going to fit me. I want to know if it's going to feel comfortable, and I want to know the drop. When I was, like I said, when I was with the Pearl Izumi group for years, I was good friends with Mike who developed the shoes, and so he knew the lingo to talk to me. But he also knew the lingo to talk to a Timothy Olsen and a Scott Jaime and those guys because they were looking for different things. And he would like, Eric, I think you're going to like this one. He goes, it's this, 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 and that's what I liked. So I struggle with shoe reviews. Ounces don't really bother me.
Yeah.
I think, people are like, oh, man, I love it, like a 9.5 ounce shoe. That one was 11. I'm like, that's an ounce and a half. Just shave your legs. You just lost an ounce and a half. You know what I mean? Or if I'm a bigger guy.
Just don't eat that breakfast
right?
burrito.
So that's where I struggle with. And I think you can tell when you're going from like a flip flop to a Doc Martin.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, I can tell that, but when you're talking like 2 ounces, I struggle because it's like, hey, what if they get wet? What if your socks are thicker?
Yeah.
I just don't understand as much. And I know it's a big deal, and I know people respect it, and I get it, and I'm not bad-mouthing it, but when someone says to me, I'm more of a 9 ounce, that one came in at 10.5. I'm like, whoa, like trim your toenails, right? You'll drop that like that, man. So
get a haircut.
Yeah. Something down there. So, all right, let's move on.
Okay.
So people, again, all these categories, just post on the Facebook when it launches. That would be awesome. Next one, we're going to talk some apparel. When I talk apparel, if you know me, and from years past, I am a jacket person. I love jackets. I don't care if I need them. I don't care if it's the same jacket 3 ways, if it's a different color. I've got so many. So we're going to start with jackets. I'm going to lead this one off, and then first I'm starting off. There's some ones that I'm a standby to. I have probably 2 jackets right now that I primarily stay with. Today was snowy, probably in the 30s, and I can still get away with certain things because I layer. My number one, and I know it's I shouldn't say that. It gets a lot of hype, and people like it. The Patagonia Houdini. It's $99. You can stick it in a pocket, super easy. It's like 3.7 ounces. It's I don't know, water repellent, right? It's not going to keep you dry. Although I've had people say it does pretty well. But they just launched the camo color.
Uh-oh.
And I bought it because that's me.
Because you're going to go hunting.
Yeah, for sure. Like turkeys.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I take my little rubber band gun in my pocket and go after them. This is the thick rubber bands because I got to knock them out first. But I've got, if my closet I'm on, I can almost see it from where I'm sitting, but I've got 4 Houdinis, and that's because 3 I took back to get Patagonia cash because I'll take stuff back.
Oh, really?
Like minimal money, right? Okay. But I love the Houdini. It's packable. I like the hood. It's like a safety jacket for me, right? I mean, I can take it anywhere just in case because, where we live, you never know it's going to hit half the time. But the other jacket that I've talked about before, it says it's 3.7, which is the same weight, but I know this has changed a little bit, is the Patagonia Airshed pullover.
Okay.
Little different material. I think it breathes a little bit better than the Houdini, and to me, it'll keep me a little bit warmer. So, Houdini's more of a just-in-case windbreaker. The Airshed pullover, it's a 119, and they say it's 3.7. It's a nylon ripstop. It's super stretchy, like a 4-way stretch almost, so I really like that about it. And it's packable. I don't think it's quite, it's close. You can probably barely tell, but I can stick it in, and we'll get to the shorts, but I can stick it in a short pocket super easy and not even worry about it. So really, those are my 2 jackets. I don't go with really big jackets. I just don't have a need for them. I've got like 5 or 6 rain jackets.
Yeah.
Solomon, Arc'teryx, Patagonias, Pearl Izumi. So I've got the rain side down, and they're different weights. And today I wore a Solomon rain jacket.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I haven't wore it yet because I bought it like a year ago. Still haven't wore it. And it worked because it was kind of slushy this morning.
Was it a Bonatti? Is that what it was? Or?
It might have been.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's hard to keep all the names straight.
Especially when you see how many jackets I have.
Yeah.
I struggle with naming. I mean, I have 2 daughters. I struggle with their names sometimes, so I think jackets make it even worse.
They definitely do.
So those are my 2 jackets. And again, I overheat quick. I don't like to wear a lot. I still am in shorts. I haven't wore pants once this year. And I've been running a lot more. So same with the top. I can put on a short sleeve and a Houdini and be good in 30 degrees.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm going to turn it over to you now, Preston, on your jacket side.
So this is a category that I have a lot of different jackets, and I'm really not happy with any of them.
Uh-oh.
And it's hard because I'm also a bigger guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I sweat a lot. And I'm always in search of that rain jacket that's water repellent and breathable.
Yep.
Because I feel like I'm putting a garbage bag on.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not 30 degrees or less and raining, which doesn't happen, right?
Nope.
So if it's not snowing, I'm going to overheat in just about any waterproof jacket that I've tried. But so I put some feelers out with some friends that I trust on this one, and all of them said, and it's kind of funny, I've got this on my list. It was your first one, the Houdini from Patagonia. I don't have one. I know.
That really breaks my heart.
They all made fun of me for not having one.
Of course they would.
Because it was the number one go-to. Like, hey, this is a great all-purpose jacket. It's all you really need. And I think I just need to get over the fact that I'm not going to find a waterproof jacket affordably.
For super light.
That's super light.
Mm-hmm.
So again, on here, full disclosure, I can't vouch for it, but Eric can, and every one of my other friends can. That the Patagonia Houdini is it's probably your best bang for your buck at $99.
And folks, Preston's got a lot of friends.
I do have a lot of friends, like 5 or 6, all the bros. Yeah, I mean, there's like 6 friends there that I reached out to with gear stuff. I didn't even reach out. I probably have like 8 friends.
I think that's a lot deeper than you think.
But no, it was hard to get good feedback from myself because I just like I have a Bonatti. That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
And it's a great jacket. Like I wore it here today.
Yeah.
But it's a great wear around jacket for me because if I run a mile in it, I'm drenched
in the inside.
Yeah. It's keeping the rain out, but I'm sweating like crazy.
You got salt water on the inside and other water on the outside.
A couple expensive options that I haven't tried, but there's a couple new jackets out from some of the name brands. That one, I have a friend that got it for a lot cheaper than this, but it's the new Salomon S-Lab Motion Fit. It's their shake dry jacket.
Oh, I've actually tried that on.
And how does it fit?
Awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
And he said it's awesome, but it's $360.
That's what I was going to say. It's awesome until I looked at the
I know.
I tried it on. I'm like, I want this. I looked at the price tag. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
The issue with this jacket, full disclosure, is that shake dry technology it's likely to rip. If you catch it on like some scrub oak, it's going to rip. So you have to run in open trails with it, or else you're going to just jack up your $350 jacket.
That would make you sad.
That would make you pissed off.
Yeah.
But from all accounts, it actually works. It's breathable and it repels the water. It's awesome.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Like I said, I tried. It's got a great fit.
And then the North Face is coming out with a new jacket too. Similar kind of technology. It's called the Flight Future Light jacket, but it's $280.
Yep.
So I think what I've realized is that I'm just never going to have one of those jackets, and I'm just going to have a Houdini and I'm going to layer.
Yeah.
Because that's all that I need. Because I do stay pretty warm.
Yeah.
I guess the Bonatti would do the trick if I was, in a death march at 100-miler and just had to walk and wasn't really working very hard because I was dead. It'd probably keep me dry and safe.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Super detailed jacket
No,
review.
that's good. And
it's just hard for me because I sweat so much.
And like I said, I've got a ton of jacket. I have way more, and I bought another one last week. I don't know why. It's a little heavier because I thought it might get cold this winter, but then I thought, but I don't. So I bought it. And I might donate it at some point. So I just wasted money. But another jacket, now that you bring it up, that I've been looking at, heard great things on. And again, I think it comes in closer to the 250 plus range. Raid Light has a rain jacket that's super duper light. And, our friend Trevor Fuchs runs for them. Scott Jaime is the one that we were talking about it. But it's just, again, the price. And so for me, there's a need for it, but how much am I going to wear it to get the price?
Yeah.
Right? So I'm okay with spending $100 on a Houdini because like I said, I've got colors. I got the orange, which is my favorite. I got a black in case I'm feeling just kind of, I need to match right.
Yeah.
Orange if I want to stand out, like if I'm a deer hunter.
Yeah.
And I got the new camo because it screams sexy.
Yeah,
right?
It does for sure. You can pull it off. And then, sorry, I almost missed one. This was a total suggestion from a friend. So it's on the more affordable end, and he says that it is water resistant and it breathes. Mm-hmm. Haven't tried it yet, but it's the Outdoor Retailer Helium 2 jacket.
Outdoor Research.
Yeah,
sorry.
OR.
Yep.
Yeah,
I know this jacket.
The OR Helium 2 jacket, and he said that bang for your buck, if you're looking for waterproof and you don't want to wear a Houdini, because he said Houdini, that this is his go-to. So the OR Helium 2 jacket, $95.40.
And I've got the new Houdini, the Air, which is a little bit heavier than the Houdini, and I'm waiting for the right time. I could have took it out today. I think it's supposed to be a little more waterproof, but I think at the end of the day, I've got 3 waterproof jackets that are not waterproof.
Yeah.
So that's the other scary thing when you're dropping that money.
Yeah, it is. And so I think you just got to realize that layers that are going to be your friend most of the time, and a Houdini, I mean, you can fit it in your pocket.
And I thought about it this morning because I was running this morning, and it rained and then snowed, and I was up on 22nd, the Bonneville shoreline. It's going out to Antelope Island. I thought, let's not waste my time out there in case it's bad. And it was sloppy in spots, but I always thought, I'm getting wet anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to out. I went out for 8, and then I came back and did a couple on the Parkway, but I'm out for 8. Even if it was a torrential downpour, I was only out for 8. So it's like an hour and a half at the tops. It isn't going to kill me, so, it's not worth for me to keep taking chances on jackets that are 200 plus.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I've come to realize too.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Staying on the torso side, and again, I apologize. We don't have a lady on here, and that was the plan. So I'm going to keep throwing that in there because I feel horrible. I really do, because it's important. But the next one we're going to talk about shirts, and again, I'm one of those guys, if I find something I like, it's hard to get away from. Yeah. I'm a gear guy. I love gear, probably more than I should. But nothing has come out lately that truly knocks my socks off. And I'm hoping that changes.
Yeah.
But it's your turn. I led with jackets. You get a lead with shirts.
Well, I've got nothing.
You got no shirts? You don't wear shirts?
So
Preston runs topless.
Yeah, well,
except with jacket.
Yeah. So I do not care about shirts. It's kind of weird, I know. But every shirt I wear is like training is just like a shirt I got at a race, and I just if it chafes, I don't really. It doesn't bug me. I just put on Squirrel's nut butter, and I roll with it. And so I'm so sorry, folks, but you just found out my dirty secret in running is I do not care. I mean, I've worn an NWO Wolfpack shirt at 100 miler.
I wore a Hulk shirt. Right?
I wore a Ric Flair shirt.
Oh, that's right.
At 100 miles.
Didn't you wear?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
No, I couldn't. Oh, I did wear. You're right. I did wear a Macho Man shirt.
I was like,
you're right.
All right.
So that kind of gives you an idea of how
tested
picky
my
I
stocking
am.
skills right there.
How picky I am with shirts. I don't care. Sorry.
And I'm a shirt guy because I really like shirts. I'm talking all shirts. Daily shirts, work shirts, running shirts, but I like the running stuff. So I've got a few. And again, if you look, I've got all these. In a couple, I've got multiple colors because it's a chafe thing, it's a seam thing, it's a weight thing, it's a nipple bugging thing, it's where the seams are. I mean, there's so many things when I look at a shirt. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shirts on here.
Makes up for me having 0.
That's right. I'm pulling us back out here.
Okay.
So the first one is a company I've actually, they got 2 shirts actually that I like. And I was really surprised when they first approached me and Joel a couple years ago, Path Projects.
Okay.
They approached us and they said, hey, we want to have you guys check out our shirts. We're brand new. I looked on their website and I thought, okay, we'll try it. But they're kind of, just like a cotton shirt, 4-way stretch. They had 3 colors, nothing on them. I'm like, send us a pair or send us a couple shirts. We'll try it out. The minute I put that shirt on, I was in heaven. And I thought, but will I run in it though, right? Because it's not the tech material that I'm used to. But Path Projects, their Cascade short sleeve shirt, and again, this is like literally like a T-shirt. You wouldn't know if I wore one because I have a teeny logo on the corner, which also I think is awesome. Not good for marketing, but super cool. They're $36.
Okay.
So it's not like a cheap T-shirt.
No.
But I wear them as like a shirt all the time. Super comfortable, super good fit. They're like 4.8 ounces for all those people out there. They only have a few colors, and I've been wearing them running lately, and I love it. I mean, you don't chafe in them because of the material, and they're so soft. They breathe well. They wick the sweat away. So hats off to them. They also have one of my all-time favorite I was going to wear it. I've wore it once or twice running because it's a long sleeve. It's the Pyrenees long sleeve. It's hooded. They have a lightweight and a midweight, 6.7 ounces, so not much more weight, but it's $62. But I can wear this thing anywhere. It's so comfortable. I could sleep in it if I didn't run hot at night, right? So they make some incredible stuff. Great company, quality products. I've had them for years, so I go there. And a company we also have had on before, which is Rabbit. They make some good stuff. Now, when I talk about Rabbit, I'm not a huge fan of their knit stuff because that's the stuff that doesn't feel good next to skin to me.
Yeah.
And there's some really cool stuff they make that way, but they've made like a McQueen sleeveless. They've got the Welcome to the Gun Show tank, which I'm not a huge tank guy.
Yeah.
But I'm not against them either.
Well, you got some good guns to
like
show
if it's
off,
a good Friday night, and I'm feeling frisky, I'll go downtown with my tank. You know what I mean?
25th Street with the tank on.
Totally.
Ready to roll.
But that's it's like $40, but they're fantastic. And then we'll go back to my standby. I think this brand is the brand that besides Pearl Izumi, I had everything Pearl for years because I love their stuff, is Patagonia. I've been wearing their Air Chaser shirt a lot. It's 3.1 ounces. It's a polyester, super comfortable fit. Comes in at $49. And the next one, I just barely got one because I wasn't sure, but when I started wearing the Path shirt, because of more of the, I don't know, the cottony type feel, it's their Capilene Cool Trail shirt. And I wore that. It's 4.6 ounces. I wore that to Antelope Island a couple weeks ago. Had that on with a Houdini, and I made the first climb and took my Houdini off and just wore that T-shirt the rest of the day. It was amazing. No chafe issues, super breathable. Had a pack on. I couldn't tell any rubbing on the pack. So I think those are right now my 4 go-to shirts, and I'm hoping more come out because I really like to try new stuff. Patagonia will come out with their stuff in the spring. I'm hoping that Rabbit, they're getting pretty slim right now. Their time they've come out with jackets and pants, which is totally great because of the type of company they are, a little smaller. But I'm hoping they really knock my socks off in the spring because I really do like it. And I love supporting companies like a Rabbit, that it's kind of a local thing from runners. Same with Path. They're just some dudes doing that. And Patagonia, I just like those guys. And whatever your opinion is on that, but I don't really jump. Some shirts too. Like I like Salomon, but they're so crazy Euro fitted most of the time.
They are.
That it's really, really hard. To get over my biceps because they're bulging. But some of that stuff's difficult.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's why. I mean, here in the Ogden area, we have Amer Sports, which is the United States affiliate distributor of all things Salomon. So we have their outlet here. So I tend to have a lot of Salomon gear just because it's cheaper. And any tech shirt of theirs that I've gotten, I haven't loved. And I probably do need to start buying some nicer shirts, but I just haven't yet because I'd rather spend it on shoes or something that I feel like I have to have.
And I think for me with shirts, it's because I probably that's what I wear the most of, right? Because it's like you can wear a jacket,
true.
You don't have to wash it, you don't wear them as much. But for me, it's like shirts I'd use a lot.
You do.
And again, I'll just be that way. I'm just a gear guy. I love new stuff. Once people come out with new stuff, I'm the first guy that wants to try it. Usually, sometimes I look at it and go, "Why'd you do that?" Right? But they're smarter than I am for sure. All right, we're moving on. We're going to start creeping down a little bit. We're going to go to the shorts section. And I wear 3 styles of shorts, period. Like I just don't stray in the short category. I've bought a couple, but I don't really wear them. I'm gonna lead off with shorts. The number one short for me still is my Pearl Izumis.
Okay.
Because I have so many pair of them, and I've had them for so long, they just don't melt. They don't go bad. So, but you can't get them, so I'm going to leave it off the list. No, but I think the number one for me still is the Patagonia Strider Pro. That 5-inch short, they have these awesome pockets I talked about earlier. I can stick a Houdini in the side mesh pocket and not even know it's there. I hate tying stuff around my waist. I just hate it. in my pack, and I hate taking my pack off to grab something. If I have it in that pocket, it's right there easy. They are $69, but I know I've had my shorts. The only reason I buy new shorts is because colors come out.
Yeah.
Because I dig it. So I've had some Patagonia Strider Pro 5 for, oh my gosh, 7 years. So I'm talking $69. That's $10 a year for that pair of shorts. Easy purchase. So I try and look at it as, if it's a pair of shorts that's going to last me a year, I wouldn't spend $70 for sure, right? Yeah. But if these shorts last, the second thing is sometimes they tweak them just a little. There was 3 years ago, they changed the short just a little bit to where the crotch area they wanted to put, I want to say it's like a mesh, more breathable for the for the stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But there was 4 seams literally down in that area, and
I wore nice.
Oh god. I did a hot summer run with Joel up at Snow Basin.
Got even hotter.
Oh, it wasn't even the heat that was the problem. It was the chafage.
Yeah.
And like someone was biting me with braces or something, you know. It was horrible. And then the next year I don't know if they took feedback, 'cause I didn't comment. I'm like, I'm out. But the next year they went back to a little bit better crotch design, which I appreciate. So that's my favorite go-to. I love it. And then the next one coming in, again, is from Rabbit. It's the FKT. That 5-inch short, again, it's got great pockets. It still comes in at 65. And I think those two, I always have my pearls, but I think those two for me, I wouldn't stray from them. And I'm probably more picky on shorts because to me it's the liner, right?
Yeah.
Because I hate line. I don't wear those shorts, those tight ones, like the spandexy biker type shorts. I probably should for chafing, and I actually bought a pair from Run just recently, but I haven't worn them yet. But I like, it has to be a good liner. I don't like the longer liners, like the jockey short ones or the tight ones. I have to have a good snuggy liner, but then it's also about the material. So
for sure.
When I find something, those are ones I don't feel comfortable sending back. If I try them on, I feel really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I don't dare send these back.
Because you're a good guy.
That's just mean.
Yeah.
Right?
It is.
And it's not that I couldn't, and I'm sure they would accept them, but I know they're not going to wash them.
No.
Because then they don't look new.
Yeah.
And I don't want someone doing that.
No.
So I just keep them I don't even give them away. I usually just keep them in a box and after a few years throw them in the trash or something. So I think those are mine. And again, for me, it's also about the pockets. You know, that way I can put a phone or a key or a credit card or a driver's license or, you know, a jacket. But if it doesn't have pockets, I won't wear them.
Yep.
Because you just need at least one. And I don't like those ones that, like the old swim trunks that have that mesh pocket on the inside to drop a key in.
Yeah,
that's the worst design in the world.
They're not functional at all.
Even for swimming, they're not functional.
No, not at all. They don't do the job ever. I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
Probably the first guy from OP. Ocean Pacific with the corduroy short guy.
Yeah.
He probably killed it, man.
Probably.
Yeah, those were huggy ones. I look back at some photos in my corduroy shorts, and I'm like, wow, I was off to a good start as a young fella.
Yeah, you were.
I don't know what happened, but, you know. What do you got short-wise?
Okay, so this is to give you guys that are laughing at me over my shirt, my hot take with the shirts. Up until recently, I didn't really care much about shorts either. It's only about the last year that I started to say, hey, maybe I should get a nicer pair of shorts. And the first pair that I tried, big shocker here, going out on a limb, but the Rabbit FKT shorts. Yeah, that's
what length?
The 5-inch.
Yeah, that's such a good length for me.
It's a good length for me as well. And I like the pockets. The liner material is soft because I like, the liner is a big deal, right? You got to have something that's comfortable and that rides well. So it's what I've worn to all my races this year, and I've loved them. Just their durable material, comfortable material with pockets.
And since you brought them up, the only thing I would change about Rabbit is their fit just a little bit.
Would you?
I still think they kind of cater more towards a road runner body.
Yeah.
And I'm not thick. Like I can wear these other shorts in different sizes, but the Rabbit FKT seem just a little bit tighter.
Yeah, I would agree, and I kind of like a tighter fit around the waist at least.
Yeah,
So because I get in these races and you just start shoving stuff everywhere, right? You're putting stuff in your pockets. You're carrying like, oh, I need this, and you put it in your pocket. And if they don't fit right, they start falling down on me. So I like the tighter fit, but they definitely fit a little tighter.
And I like a tighter fit, like I said, if I'm on the town.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to send the vibe,
true.
right? But
well,
I'm
always
on the trail,
trying to give off the vibe.
Yeah, when I'm on the trail, I don't like to send out the vibe because I'm up in the mountains alone. I don't know who's watching, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to send the wrong vibe.
Yeah. And then the other thing that I've done, so other than wearing just those Rabbit FKT shorts, is I've cut the liners out of a lot of my shorts and started to wear a nice pair of compression underwear.
That's what I was coming out with.
And so the one that I've loved has been from Saxx.
Oh yeah,
SAXX. And it's their Kinetic pair.
I got some of those.
Yeah, and they're $40. They're really great if you don't like shorts with liners, or if you don't want to spend money on shorts and you want to spend money on a more versatile like underwear that you could wear besides just running.
At the prom.
Yeah, at the prom, for sure. They make you feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you never know.
It's got, and again, sorry, ladies, but this is obviously a guy thing. It's a total guy product, right?
Yeah.
The Saxx underwear.
Well, I guess women could wear it.
They could wear it, but it's
use
got
that
some
as a
features.
pocket for storage.
Yeah, for sure. It's got some features that are definitely geared towards men. But they're super comfortable. I wore Saxx underneath some shorts at Hurt, and the Hurt 100, famous for people chafing terribly.
Oh yeah.
And I did not chafe at all.
Nice.
It was awesome. So they work really well and they're super comfortable.
Yeah, and I when you say that, I've got some, and that's what I actually am going to try and do in a couple pair of my shorts, because I have a lot in a certain style. I'm going to cut a liner because sometimes I do have chafing issues, and I will lube, and we'll get to that. I lube up like I'm a
You're
lube
a lubologist.
Oh, I'm a master lubologist. Actually, I was into lube before lube was good.
You've got your tongue depressor ready to go.
Yeah, I got it. It's more of a putty knife, really. I go to Home Depot and just grab the putty knives, man, and
that's
just
the way
go
to
for
do
it. Yeah, just spackle it on there. You never know how much you're going to need. I got stuck in a trail with Scott Jaime. We did the Highline Trail. I resulted in chapstick. And
chapstick?
Yeah, because I had nothing. We're in the mile whatever. We're just kind of out, and I have nothing, so I had a thing of chapstick.
Chapstick on the nips.
It was in the nether region,
there you go.
and the funny part is an hour or two later, I damn near put the chapstick on my mouth. I pulled it out, and I got the lid off before I'm hold on.
You tried to give it to Scott. Don't lie.
Yeah, that's funny.
You're like, hey Scott, here you go, bud.
Buddy. Yeah,
use some chapstick.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been trying the liner thing. That's why I said I got some run ones. I like their gear. I think they've really done a good job. I've got some. My problem is I don't like them too short because then they kind of bunch up in there, but I don't like them really hanging down to my knees.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen my body, which I hope many of you haven't, my legs aren't long, right? I mean, I'm a sturdy built fella. Side note, I'm down 24 pounds since September 1, so suck on that.
That's pretty good.
But I just don't have long legs. So when I get a longer short, it doesn't work. I don't like it, right? Like when I run, I like to see my quads.
Yeah.
And if they're covered, I don't feel so sexy.
Yeah, you can't show it off.
Yeah, I'm I know there's a muscle under that, but you can't see it.
I mean, realistically, on your next driver's license, you need to get a picture of your quad flexed and
that'd
just
be
put
awesome.
it as your picture.
That'd be awesome when the cop pulls you over.
Yeah.
That's not you. Sir, can I take my pants off real quick? And I'll show you that to me. Look at this quad. So that's a good one. I like that because I have Saxx, and there's another company before Saxx. It was one of the first ones that came out, and I have all their stuff, and I can't even remember their name now, but it was right before Saxx, and I can't even remember their name, so I apologize, but it was kind of in that My Package. That's what they're called, the My Package. It was the brand, and I have a lot of their stuff, just everyday wear too.
Yep.
So are you good with shorts? Is that your shorts?
Yeah, that's my shorts. So just the Rabbit FKT 5 inchers and then the Saxx underwear. So that's
and do you have pants?
So I just buy cheap tights.
Yeah.
So I have a pair of just Salomon tights that works. I've worn tights 4 times over the last year, counting January till now.
That's 3 more times than I have.
Yeah.
Actually 4 more times. I haven't worn any this year.
And now that I've lost a little bit of weight as well, I definitely am colder, but I don't need it as much.
Yeah, and I have a few pair of pants. I didn't cover any for the show, and I know a lot more people wear pants than I do. I just don't like to run in pants, but I've got some older Pearls. I do have some Salomons and I have some Patagonias.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't drop below 10, it doesn't interest me.
Yeah.
If it gets below 10, I think about it. But for me, even at that degree, it's got to be super thin.
Yeah.
I can't have the thicker ones. And, I mean, let's face it, I don't even like how I look in tights.
Yeah.
So I know for years I would put shorts over the tights.
You're that guy.
I was for a while.
Yeah.
And then Joel started giving me some stuff, right?
Deservedly so.
Yeah, and I get it now. I get it, but I felt like I was doing everybody else a justice.
Yeah.
So I'm I'll take one for the team for you guys,
for sure.
Right? And then I started wearing pants without shorts, and I'm I just don't like it. I don't know. I still couldn't be the compression short guy with nothing over it, though.
Oh, I could never do that.
I know a lot of people do it, and I'm fine with I'm fine with people doing it.
Yeah.
I can't do that, and it's not going to be an
Yeah,
issue
I
for
couldn't be
people.
that guy. As far as what I've done in the past with pants is I've just bought like the cheap track pants, like the $10 ones. Like if it gets real bad weather, like at Rufa last year, I wore this pair of $10 pants. Just they're like water resistant material, and just put them over whatever I'm wearing. Because if it's that cold, then I need pants.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah.
Yeah, and I've got a few of the baggier. Joel got me into that. He's like, dude, we're getting old. We can't wear tights anymore.
Yeah.
So he talked me into buying a pair of like looser fit ones, and I just don't like them.
Yeah.
I'm like, why would I run in pants at this level? Like tights I can get because you don't really feel it. But if there's some slack anywhere, I'm like, sounds like I'm running in corduroys, man. Yeah. It's like, what's that? Someone following me? I'm like, that's my thighs.
Swish, swish, swish.
Yeah. So next up, we're going to move down just a little bit. We're not going to cover knee braces or knee pads. We're going to go to socks. And I'm a sock guy, period. Love socks. They never have to match anything. That's my rule. Like I could wear something to work that's really nice, and my socks don't even come close. Like not even close to the palate level. So I don't think they ever have to match. So for me, socks, running socks, I like no-shows my best, my favorite. I don't like covering my legs at all. So I wear a lot of features socks. Probably my favorite still are the features. I did Smart Wool, and I did another brand for a while, and I'm not going to mention, but they kept ripping on me in the same spot. And even when I tried to, because it's like, lifetime warranty, I just feel uncomfortable doing that too. It's like I've had them for 6 months. I don't need it. I'll just buy a pair.
Yeah.
But my all-time favorite socks are Stance, and now they've actually got a better running sock.
Do they?
And it's more of a crew.
Okay.
And I still love it. I worked at Antelope Island, and I ran it. It was my, I did a 25K loop, and absolutely loved them. So I might be wearing more crew socks this year because Stance are my favorite socks, period. The classic version, I'll buy every color I can find.
Yeah.
But those are probably the two I just stick with. I know they work. I don't do toe socks. I've tried it, people. I don't like it. I'll never use it. But I love the features. I don't get blisters still.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had a couple times where I have, but I think that was more of a shoe issue than a sock issue. And again, I do the lube stuff once in a while if I know it's going to be a gnarly day, or I do a powder issue that I deal with. So
how much are those Stance socks?
15, 16 bucks, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not too steep when you consider how much you probably use them. I don't know longevity of the running socks. Like I said, I've only wore that one once. I have a pair from like a year and a half ago that's a crew. I don't have any problems with like quality wise.
Yeah.
And I just love them. So, and the feature socks are probably in the same boat. I think a good sock like in that realm is around $15 ish.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've always been a sock guy. So just playing sports growing up, the Nike Elite basketball socks, I always bought those. I always liked having a nice pair of socks because I think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I've never had blister problems, so I don't get too picky with them, but I have to have a good sock.
Yeah.
And my go-to is a features sock. It's the Elite Light Cushion, the Crew. I love Crew socks. I think that's just my generation likes the higher sock anyways. Because you're so old, that was an old person joke.
I don't think they made no-shows for my age group. I think that's a newer thing.
Is it?
Well, I take for the girls they did because they had a little pom-pom on the heel. Like it was a no-show with like a colored pom-pom. I remember those, and I was jealous the ladies got them, and I knew I couldn't pull it off. Oh yeah,
yeah.
I put a pom-pom beanie, throw my pom-pom booty socks on.
All right. No, so I love the feature socks. I've worn Stance socks, just wearing them around, but never the run socks. That's why I was asking you the price.
Love them. Yeah.
And then I've worn the Injinjis. The only pairs I've ever worn I got for free.
Yep, that's me too.
I've worn Drymax. The only pairs I've ever gotten, I've gotten for free. And they're good socks.
Yeah.
The Drymax are just a little bit too thick for me, though. The features are thick enough, but thin. They're just a good sock for me. And the Injinjis are fine. I just don't like taking the time to put them over every single toe. They don't bug me.
They bug me, and I don't have the patience.
Yeah.
I start sweat. Like, I'll break into a sweat putting them on.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is a lot of work.
It is. But if you're that person that has problems with blisters on your toes, I think it's a great option.
Yeah.
I'm just not that person.
Oh, I know people that can't run without them, and I'm fine with it.
And so if you're that person, if you're looking for something to relieve your toe blisters, go ahead and pick yourself up a pair of Injinjis because they are a good sock. They're good material. They're quality.
Oh, yeah.
I wear them, but my go-to is features. I've been wearing those for years, and they last a really long time. I can beat them up. I've still got pairs that are probably 2 or 3 years old that I still have in my rotation. So when you're paying $17 for a pair of socks that'll last 3 years, that's a pretty good deal.
No, I agree. That's why when you talk shoes, and I say that's like 50 cents a mile.
Yeah.
I break down the pricing. Like people say, you spent how much? I'm like, yeah, but how much do I use it?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's the same thing. Is that good on socks?
Oh yeah.
All right, now we're going to go into nutrition, and this is like Pandora's box of. It's getting worse, folks. I mean, I have seen so many people debating now on plant-based diets that it makes me want to vomit. You know. Because there's the Game Changers film, and now there's so many podcasts talking. Joe Rogan's on board and talking about back and forth. And I don't want to get down into the weeds. My thing is, if it works for you and you want to do something, just do it.
Yeah.
My opinion doesn't matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. If you're a meat eater, if you're not a meat eater, man.
I think the one thing that we can all agree on is that we don't need to be eating as much sugar as we do.
I would agree to that, but I'm sure there's
right.
Elf out there that puts syrup on his noodles, you know, but
just eats Oreos all the time.
I think my problem is people just want you to. This is the way to do it.
Yeah.
If you're not doing it, you're stupid. You're wrong. You're not healthy. And I'm like, I disagree with that. You know, I think if it works for you, awesome, but don't force it on people.
And I think that there's good and bad about everything that we do. It's just you can find what works for you.
Exactly.
I've done a bunch of different diets.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of different things. And right now I'm the happiest I've ever been. I won't say what I'm doing because it's kind of funny. Well, I will say what I'm doing. I'm on Weight Watchers, folks.
There's nothing wrong
and
with
it's
that.
balanced. It works for me, right? But I've done the high fat, low carb. I've never done anything just straight vegan just because I don't think it would work for me. But, you know, everybody's got opinions, and it's because it works. Your body's different than mine.
Yep.
And
your lifestyle,
and it's all about finding that balance to be the healthiest you, and however you get to it, I'm all for it.
Well, and I think for me, it's always the debates, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, our ancestors didn't wear shoes. I'm like, well, because they didn't have any. You can't tell me some dude didn't want a pair when he's walking in thorns, right?
Yeah.
And I understand his feet got hard. Or, well, we always ate this because that's what was healthy. I'm like, no, because they didn't have access to this, right? So it's not a matter of what we used to do. I'm not saying anything works or doesn't work. I just am to the point now where I'm just so over people forcing and debating and getting so mad at people for doing stuff. Like, I've had someone get mad at me. I can't believe you'd eat that. I'm like, well, I like it.
Yeah. I have several friends with all different kinds of diet.
See, I knew you had more than 8.
Several.
I knew you had more than 8.
Well, no, just more than 8. No, I just have some very opinionated friends with diets, but my favorite part about them is they don't force it on me. You know, good friend of the show, good friend of mine, yours, Trevor Fuchs.
Yeah.
Vegan.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely.
And he does not shame anybody for doing anything else. He obviously thinks what he's doing is best for him.
Yep.
And that's
what
that matters.
Yeah. Like, I'm eating a certain way since September. I've lost 20-something pounds. I sleep good. I feel good. I'm happy. My skin is glowing, folks.
Yeah.
Right? And I still eat cheese curds. So how's that? So nutrition, and the reason I bring that up, I know we went off, but nutrition's the same way, right? Because when I first started, there wasn't a lot of choices, right? There was a few choices. So you're asking what works for you, and I just tried it, right? I'm like, okay, hammer, okay, goo, I'll try it, okay, shot block, whatever it is. So when I bring up nutrition, this is what works for me. And I think the greatest thing, too, when we're doing this, we're not sponsored by any of these. I'm not. I don't know.
Definitely not.
So we're not sponsored by any of these things. We just do them because it works for us. So when we talk nutrition, I just came across a new thing that I'm going to tell you, I haven't used it in a race. I haven't used it in long stuff, but I love the concept of it. They're called Lifty Bites.
Okay.
And they're out of Utah, and I found them at a show. And what it is, it's just these little squares. You know, they almost look like a mint, but they're sold online. There's some local stuff. And the base of it, they're a fruit and nut-based energy bite. So it's super teeny, and they base it as like a fuel for your adventure. Some of the facts on it, I wish it's hard to do over the phone, but if I had to say a size, I'm thinking probably a little bit bigger than a silver dollar size.
So maybe about like a Reese's mini peanut butter cup, or
like
it's
the
small one.
It's
that's individually packaged or a little bigger.
It's between the Reese's mini and the normal Reese's.
Okay.
So it's in that realm, and they're 120 calories for one.
Okay.
They weigh an ounce.
Okay.
So it's not like you're packing a lot of weight for 150 calories. 12%, there's It's got 9 grams of fat. It's got 80 milligrams of sodium, 8 grams of carbs, 5 grams of protein. So it's not necessarily something that's, you want it. It's not like a bar.
Yeah.
But I think they're small enough, and they're not too sweet, and they're not too salty. They have a few different flavors. I love them, but I'm going to start testing them more. But I think that's one people should try if they're into something new. And then nutrition-wise, I dabble. I don't really like gels as much as I can, but I have some. I've got a jar of them up here that I'll grab once in a while. I couldn't do a strictly gel, but Scratch Hydration to me is ridiculously good. Works for me better than any of the others. Lemon lime I'll take, and I think it's a passion fruit one. Those are the 2 I stand by, and then Scratch Recovery. Yeah. I love First Endurance Recovery, but I think Scratch right now for me, their products are the best on my stomach. Okay. And I like it too because they're not too sweet, and just more water dilutes the taste a little bit. But just be careful when you're using their hydration, because I had a problem years ago that I kept cramping because there was so much electrolyte and I wouldn't put enough water with it. And so it was basically sucking water from my body to process it. But those 3 things is what I'm going to try. I have a 50K in January down in Moab, and I'm just going to have Lifty Bites and Scratch Hydration. And that's it. I'm going to try it. That's going to be my test.
That'll be good. With those Lifty Bites, how are they in your mouth, like as far as chewing them?
They're not bad. They're not like super dense. Like
are they kind of? They're not like
dry.
a Cliff Bar or granola-y.
No.
Okay.
No. They're that's the whole thing. And some of them have like a little bit of yogurt drizzled on them a little bit. So the flavors.
And they go down easy.
Oh, my God, so easy. It's not like you need a whole 12 ounces to get them out.
Yeah, and I guess where you're just going to eat one little bite that's 150 calories, that's easy.
That's super easy. Yeah. And even packable, right? And they're not like gel packs. Can get messy. And I take always a little Ziploc bag. And I put my in this one. It's not messy. It's not sticky. It's light. It's small. And I think 150 calories, that's more than a gel pretty much. And, and it goes down 10 times easier. And I don't foresee myself getting the over sugar or too savory.
Yeah.
Right? Like some of the stuff. And Scratch makes a great, like a bar to eat, but I wouldn't necessarily take them on a race.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these Lifty Bites, and I'm going to tell people to check them out. I've got no affiliation with them. Like I said, I met them. It's just, I'm trying to find I have their website right now, but my fantasy football scores popped up. Lifty, Liftie, bites.com. And they've got peanut butter dark, alpine yogurt, their original base camp, and sea salt caramel. Okay. That one is money.
Okay.
That one is so good. It's got dates, berries, nuts, kosher salt. I don't think they're, there's just a lot in them, and they're goodness. So that's kind of my nutrition side.
Okay. Well, my nutrition side is, I guess you could even call it a little bit boring with everything that's out there right now, because there are so many different things. My go-to in racing, in training, is always the GU Roctane drink mix.
Oh, yeah.
So 2 flavors. One has caffeine, one doesn't. So I use the lemon berry, which has caffeine, and the grape, which is non-caffeinated. Just try to, sometimes early in the race, I try to avoid caffeine, so I'll use the grape. So I buy it in the big jar. It's a 3.5-pound jar for $37.99.
Nice.
And I just 2 scoops of that in your flask is 250 calories with a ton of electrolytes. Usually can avoid taking a ton of salt if I'm drinking that. And so I try to.
Which flavor do you like?
So I like the lemon berry and the grape.
Okay.
So those are my go-tos.
I like
the Summit tea. A lot of people favorite. Like. Yeah. I just haven't tried it yet.
That's my favorite.
But the thing about it, and I mean, you always hear the pros that use the stuff say, "Oh, it goes down so smooth. It's something I can drink all day." It really is a subtle flavor for 250 calories in an 18-ounce flask. It really doesn't taste that sugary.
Yeah.
I was able to drink it all day at Bear this year. I've been able to drink it every race all year long, and going back to even last year. It's worked for me all day. So that's my go-to. And then gels, I just try to find what's working. Generally, it's just been regular GU gels, which are 100 calories in a packet, and they've been fine for me. This last summer, I experimented a little bit with Spring. With the Spring Energy.
Sorry. I'm going to go back. I like that stuff.
Okay.
I like that stuff.
So, funny story with it is I went on this weird adventure run with Shane Martin, and we were in the Uintas. We did this big ridge link up, and I took some spring to try, and it worked really well, but it was hard to tell because we were moving real slow because it was a lot of just stuff that I'm not fast at.
Yeah.
And it worked for me all day. We were out there forever, like 8 hours or something. Didn't go very far at all. It was fun, though, and I didn't use it after that. That was like in July. I didn't use it at all after that, but I was like, that worked pretty good. And right before the bear, Shane texts me, and he's like, hey, I'm down at, I can't even remember what running shop he was at. Do you want me to pick you up some spring? Because I was out, and the Utah running shop was out. They had some back order issues with Spring Energy nationwide right before Bear and Wasatch, so a lot of runners were real happy about that. But so they didn't have any. He found some, and he picked me up like 12 spring gels, and I was just going to use that as backup at Bear. Well, I got sugared out at Bear after about, I think I was at Tony Grove, and I was just done with GU, the regular gels. I was still able to drink my drink, which was perfect, but I couldn't eat another GU gel. And so I had those spring gels, the Speed Nut flavor, which that's 250 calories in a gel, folks. And it goes down. It goes down easy.
I'm the mango one. That's my favorite.
The Hill Aid, right? I think that's the mango one. That's the other one I had. They both have caffeine, and without those gels, I don't have the day that I had at Bear. Because they're a little sour. The flavor isn't just super sugary. It's not like they're not sweet, but it's not goo.
Yeah.
And it just goes down so smooth. I don't love the aftertaste sometimes.
Yeah.
But they work. And it was good to have another option. I think that's something that's important to remember, always to have something that you can go to if what your primary thing isn't working. Like I said, I trained with them one time all summer, and then they saved my big 100-mile race of the year. I wouldn't have been able to finish it as well as I did without having a different option.
I'm glad you brought that up because I spaced that one because I haven't been using anything for a while.
Yeah. So those are my go-to. So the Roctane drink mix I buy in bulk because I go through it like crazy. The regular GUs I always will use as long as I can put up with them because they're cheap.
Yeah.
And they work when I'm not getting too much sugar. And then the Spring Energy was an absolute game changer for me.
Is that your nutrition side?
That's my nutrition side.
All right, so the next section, I call it the miscellaneous bucket. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time with pricing and everything else on this one. I'm going to go down my list, give you a little tidbit about them because there's a lot in the miscellaneous category that I think are fun. I'm just going to start vests. I'm looking for a new one. There's a lot out there. Hit me up what's the best, right? You go to Ultimate Direction. There's not much right now on their site. Ultraspire is something I've used always. Solomon's a good fit. I started with Nathan when I was right out of the gate. I just don't want something super bulky. I think vests are always a plus. I've got a quiver of them, whether it's something that you just put a jacket in or something that's going to be for a really long adventure run. Next up for me, I'm sorry, folks, Hemp Daddy's CBD oil. I still am a big proponent of that. I still sleep better. I know it does something for me when I'm off it. I can tell. Squirrel's Nut Butter has been brought up quite a few times. I'm a religious Squirrel's Nut Butter fan. I always have some of that on me. Literally on me.
Yeah.
But I always have stuff because I love their little teeny sticks. That's super packable if you're going out on a race. Lumen belt. We've talked about this in the past. The Lumen from Ultraspire, the waist belt with the light, such a plus. A little bit outside the box, and this is one that I just bought. It's called Project R-E-PAT, P-A-T. Look them up. I'm super excited. They have different size quilts they'll make you, and you send them in your race shirts, and they will make you a blanket or quilt, backing of your color. You cut out the shirt. You send it to them. They make it for you, different sizes, so how many shirts you have. I bought a coupon because you have to buy it, and then they send you stuff. Then you send it into them that comes back. And then you can pick the color backing. I'm super excited for that because I have a lot of race shirts that just sit in a bin.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want a blanket, right? There's something that you take to a race, take to whatever. Yeah. So check Project R-E-PAT. And I know there's other groups out there that do it, but this is the one I bid on. And I'm excited. And they always have like sales. Like I got mine when they were 50% off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well, even if I lose on that one, I'm not screwed. But I don't wear my shirts hardly ever. So that's one. And I think the last one for me, and I know this is a shameless plug, But people do it this time of year because I work for a nonprofit now. People do gifts with nonprofit. You could gift a donation to Trail Manners to your favorite trail running listener, and I will be happy to shout out to the mountaintops their name on the air. Shameless plug. But I just got my bill from Joel today on my website re-up, and kind of had a small little mini stroke, I think is what they're called. Because I'm going to Disneyland. I'll be a week from today. I'll be in Disneyland.
Happiest place on earth.
So the price of my renewing my website, and this isn't Joel's fee. This is like to own the website name. So it's not Joel.
I blame Joel.
Yeah, he sent it to me this morning. Did you get this? And I looked. I'm like, no, but now I'm not buying churros in Disneyland, or turkey legs, or you were pineapple whips.
You were gonna see how many churros you could eat in
it was
a day,
a competition, man.
Yeah.
They're like $93 a piece, I think, at this point.
So.
So yeah, any donations you can make we are not tax deductible, so I'll hang my hat on that. But yeah, I think that's a good gift, right? So that's kind of it on my miscellaneous. And then the last one I think is really cool. And I know race directors, I reached out to Jim Skaggs from the Buffalo Run to talk to him about it. But I know another really good thing to do is if you can, a friend, a loved one, whatever, give them a race entry. You know, if you know they want to do a race and you can swing it, see if you can give them a race entry, because I think those are always good ones for people. So we'll throw that one in there. And again, there's so many miscellaneous categories out there. I'm not going to get too far into the weeds, but I think those are the ones for me, ones that I like, I use, I love. So those are my miscellaneous ones.
Perfect. So I'll go through this pretty quick because we'll touch on some of the same ones. My biggest techie gear miscellaneous item that I absolutely love, and it was because of this podcast, is the Lumen 600.
Oh, yeah.
It's changed my life because I run a lot in the dark, whether it's early or late, and it's just awesome. No cords, rides well, super bright. You can buy rechargeable batteries so you have multiples to get you through the night of that long night, 100-miler. It's awesome. I've always been a vest guy, but Salomon's new vests haven't worked for me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for one that works better. I've still got one that's hanging on by a thread, literally. I think it's 2 versions ago of the Salomon one. It's red. People think it's orange because it's that off color.
One you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's awesome. I'm looking for, if you know of any of those, tell me so I'll buy some because they're awesome. And then, let me see. Sorry. Oh, glasses. This came up on the Trail Manners group combo the other day on Facebook. Plug for that. It's a safe place, folks. Good place to get some input. But Julbo glasses have been my go-to.
Yep.
I was always wearing a real dark lens. It doesn't work for trail running when you're going in and out of the shadows. Julbo has the reactive lenses. They range in price from $129 to $209. It's been perfect. You can wear them all day long until you put your headlamp on or your waist light, like I do, or both, like I do. Really,
I do.
So, anyways, Julbo glasses, and then race entries, like Eric said. Great gift to give people. One that I want to try, I ran like 13 or 14 miles at the Antelope Island 50K with Ty Draney. His race, I think, has like 5 spots left. Vaquero Loco 50K. 25K probably has some more spots. Everybody says it's awesome. I haven't talked to anybody that dislikes that race. Not a single person. And then my big ones, my go-tos, the Tushers mountain runs. Those races are incredible. 100K distance, 70K distance, marathon, half marathon, something for everybody. They all hit a 12,000-foot peak in Delano Peak. It's rugged, big mountains. They're like the mini San Juans. People, you got to get out there. It's awesome. And then my go-to 100-miler, the Bear 100, is incredible. Just a classic 100-mile race. I hope to be running it this year. I'm trying to see how lottery things fall, but I may be running it, I may not, but I'll for sure be there because
I'll be running it.
It's a great race, and Eric can tell you it's just magical. Those are my things. Sorry, we got a little long here.
No, that's good. No,
those races are great. Miscellaneous things. I'm put out there too that I'm looking for a utility belt, a waist belt.
Ultra Spire. I've got the Synapse, one little bottle.
Yeah.
And I've got the Speed Goat, the version before the new one that's about to launch, and that's a great belt.
I saw the advertisement with Carl.
Mm-hmm.
He's taking dramatic drinks.
I know.
Constantly throughout the advertisement.
Yeah. Don't do too dramatic because it's only 2 small bottles. But no, I've used the Speed Goat for simply the storage, and I love it. There's no bounce. The bottles sit at an angle. They're flat. I love the belts.
I've just got to bite the bullet on one. The Ultimate Direction, they have a utility belt. Naked has a belt. I'm sure they're all good, but if you guys have any opinions, please reach out to me because I'm looking for people that have used them a lot. I've gotten several good opinions. I just need to pull the trigger on one because if Salomon's not going to make a vest that I like, I need to find something else that works for me.
Yeah. Well, is that it?
That's all I've got. I mean, of my page and a half of notes here.
Well, folks, if you have some ideas, if you have some things that work for you, don't be afraid to share those either on this podcast episode 143, our Christmas episode on Facebook. You can put it on our website, or again, we have another Facebook page. It's a Trail Manners community page. It's kind of a private thing. You have to be approved to be in there. Something I can monitor where you can post, where you can ask questions. It's getting a little bit of traction now. We got some solid people in there, and that's also a good place to share those things or ideas because I'm always looking for stuff. I'm a gear guy. Don't hesitate to send me something. I'd like to try things. So yeah, any feedback you can provide is greatly appreciated. And once more, please understand, I want to apologize for all the female listeners out there. I know some of this stuff absolutely can relate, but I know we missed a huge gap there. Please accept my apology. And I know we've talked about this before, but sometimes things come up with our guests. I'm not going to say who they are, but they would have been a great source. So I'm going to try and do a supplemental podcast to this if my week works out before I leave to Disneyland. But I really want to do that because we have done that in the past as well. So please be patient. We'll get that out there. I want to thank Preston again for coming on and helping out with this podcast, getting some different opinions, some different ideas. But we're always open to everybody else's as well because it's, like I said, we say we, I mean everybody out there when I say Trail Manners.
It's the community.
It really is, and that's what I want it to be. It's not about me. It's not about Gunner, my dog, even though sometimes he thinks it is. Now that he's on the logo, he thinks he's pretty legit. He's telling all his friends.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, he's telling all his buddies
People
about it.
know him.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting his butt sniffed way more than he used to. Let's just say that when we're going on walks. Yeah, the dogs are starting to approach him now. So anyway, Preston, thanks again for coming on. Good luck with your lotteries throughout the year. And then everybody, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. It's the Christmas gift episode. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out at manners@trailmanners.com. We have a couple more shows before the holidays where I'll be taking a couple weeks off with my family. But thank you again. Happy holidays. And this is Eric with Preston Wood, and we are out. Thank you for listening to the Trail Manners podcast. I'd like to thank Preston Wood for joining us today with this Christmas gift episode. I also want to encourage everybody for some feedback on their gear and to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Trail Manners, or swing by the website at trailmanners.com. There you can hit us up on the contact page. Let us know what you want to see, who you want to hear, or if you would like to be on the show. I love hearing from all of you. And if you could take a minute and leave a rating or review on iTunes or Facebook, I'd appreciate that. And lastly, once again, Trail Manners would love your support via our Patreon account at patreon.com/Trail Manners to keep us alive and kicking. Until next time, this is Eric Manning with Preston Wood reminding you, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now go get it.